Hey investors, Dave Hathaway here, ground zero in Baltimore City. Behind me, another investment property that we closed on last week. And I wanted to discuss finding and investing in profitable rentals and 4 rules that you can follow that are going to help you along your journey massively and that have helped me along my journey in investing to build wealth and honestly just to avoid big mistakes. These are the 4 rules, and by importance, of what I follow now and that I've learned over the last 12, 13 years of real estate investing. And so let's go through it. This is a property right that I'm going to use as an example. It's 1203 Wilcox Street. I don't know if it's over that shoulder, but it's behind me. And so number 1 rule is location. Location, location, location. You hear this in a lot of real estate videos. You hear this from real estate agents. What does that mean when investing in real estate? How do I use this? How do I determine, hey, this is an okay location? And super important because Baltimore is very block by block. If you don't know what that means, I've got a great video right here that's investing in Baltimore block by block so you can understand what that means. But location, how I determine that this property behind us was in a good location and comfortable for me is you walk the block, or you have somebody that you really trust walk the area and you can feel it. You can feel if it's a good location. You might talk to a neighbor. You might go down the street and go, oh, these properties feel pretty good. It might be right next to a really nice park. It might be in close proximity to some awesome stuff. And I'm gonna pick the camera up and show you. I mean, right over there, they got some string lights. They got this really nice garden. And if you go down the street, these are all built in the same time. They're all 1996 properties. But I've also invested in this area for a while. And so I have other properties right around here. I know the street, so I knew the block. But when I walked this street, I said, oh, it's a really nice block. I really enjoy it. I can see myself living there. And that's really the test, if you will, is can you see yourself living in the property? Because that tenant's going to see the same thing and feel the same thing that you're going to feel. And I've used this test multiple times. And often what I end up doing is walking the block, walking a couple blocks around, and just observing, looking around, see how people interact with me, see if they're looking over their shoulder, see if they're trying to sell me drugs. And that's how I determine if it's a good location. So that's number 1. Number 2, and you see me going off notes, that's because I want to deliver the most value to you guys and I didn't want to miss anything. And I really wanted to be intentional with this video to make sure that I delivered the value to you guys. So number 2 is go see the property. I don't know. It's definitely happened a few times, maybe 3 or 4 times in my real estate investing career where I put something under contract without having somebody put their foot in the door, me walk the property, or somebody that I trust walk the property. And I have another video. It's the big learning lessons for new investors. Here's a picture of what the video looks like. I'll put a link down in the description. Super important because what ends up happening and what's happened to me in the past is I put an offer, I've got an accepted contract. The pictures look phenomenal. The pictures always look phenomenal. But when you go into the property, if you've already got under contract and go, oh, shoot, these room sizes are tiny. Somebody's not going to be able to want this as a 3-bedroom. This is actually a 2-bedroom and an office. Or maybe you can't see the floor sloped in the pictures or the mold in the basement. I'm giving you personal examples and examples, that video that I'm talking about, big learning lessons. But super important, number 2, get somebody, you yourself walk the property or have somebody you trust that knows about a little bit about construction or just knows about real estate. Walk the property, say, hey, it feels good. Everything matches the pictures. There's nothing that stands out that's different because pictures lie in real estate. So number 3 is look for low maintenance properties. This one right here, I told you it's 1996. That's one of the things that I love about it. In Baltimore, other older cities, you have properties that built in 1900s, 1910, some even in the late 1800s. If these haven't been fully renovated, you're gonna have higher maintenance costs. There's 2 things that you can do. You can build in kind of in your rehab budget, hey, I'm gonna redo all the things that I know that are gonna have to happen, i.e. plumbing, i.e. check out the electrical. You need to go through the major systems and go, okay, roof, plumbing, electrical, am I gonna have to replace those? Because if you don't, you're going to have what's called deferred maintenance. Deferred means put off maintenance. And if you have a tenant in there and all of a sudden you're starting to have issues with the electrical and it's a big project like rewiring all the electrical, maybe putting in a new box, maybe doing a whole rewire, this is super important. Okay. So if that happens, you could have the tenant that says, hey, I just don't want to be in here. They start having they have too many maintenance calls and say, hey, this property is just old. It needs a bunch of repairs. I don't want to live here. And one of the names of the game is turnover. You want to purchase a property that's low maintenance, get a tenant in there that stays in there for 5, 7, 10 years. That's how you're going to make money in real estate. If you have tenants that move out every month because you have deferred maintenance or you're having maintenance issues and you're kind of just putting band-aids on it instead of fixing the overall problem, you're not going to make money. You're going to go down the end and go, dang, I should have just done the renovation at the start, refinance the property, done everything that I need to do to have a low maintenance property overall. So number 3 is find low maintenance properties or make them low maintenance via your rehab. So the last thing that's super important is don't sit on the sidelines and look for grand slams. This is a baseball tournament. You don't want to sit on the sidelines waiting for the best deal. The best deal may never come. You'll get into this paralysis analysis state. I tell you because I've been there of like, man, somebody else got a better deal, so I'm not going to purchase this. It's not as good of a deal. Does it hit your numbers? A great video, if you don't know about numbers, is this video right here where we go over how to analyze a property. And so you can see how much it cash flows, how much equity is in the property. You have to do a little bit of work, but it gives you a tool to allow you to understand that. So if you haven't done that, go check out the video. I'll put it in the description. But the main thing that I want you to take away is don't get into paralysis analysis. It's more important to hit singles and doubles and just get experience in the game long term to build wealth long term than it is to swing for the fences, swing for grand slams. If you're swinging for grand slams, you're more likely going to be sitting on the sidelines and you're going to be missing out on these big wealth opportunities. And you're going to be missing out on gaining the experience, which is going to make you a better investor and how you're going to gain the most amount of wealth as a real estate investor. So let me hit those again real quick. Number 1, location. Number 2, go see the property. Do not just put it under contract without seeing it. Huge mistake. Number 3, look for low maintenance properties that you can hold over time. And number 4, don't sit on the sidelines swinging for grand slams. Be okay with hitting singles and doubles. That's what builds wealth over time, builds experience. That's how you're going to profit in real estate. So I wanted to give you what that looks like in an actual example with this property right here. So the numbers are, and this by no means is a grand slam. This is just a single or a double. It's just going through the motions of real estate and making a good, solid decision, letting time and experience be our value creator. So back here, purchase the property for $125,000. It's going to be a $25,000 renovation budget. And with those numbers, you can see I have the analyzer up right here. My monthly cash flow is going to be about $476 or about 15% return after we get it rented. And by no means is that shooting the moon in a grand slam, but by no means is that super risky. So when you have a over $400 cash flow a month, if anything goes wrong, like a washer and dryer goes bad, or we have to replace a toilet, I don't lose money that month. I just don't get my cash flow, my profit. It goes towards the repair. So it really makes investing very conservative when you make sure you're hitting certain cash flow numbers. There's also a 20K built-in equity. And so what that means is all in the property for 150, property's worth 175. So if we were to sell the property right off the bat, there's 20K right there, 25K, but with closing costs about 20K that we can get. And so that's deferred to whenever we sell the property or if we refinance the property, but that builds in an area of cushion. And by no means is that huge, but by no means is that bad. So again, this is a single or double, not a grand slam. And if you don't know what a DSCR loan is, or you know a little bit about that, I have a video right here interviewing a experienced lender that does DSCR loans, that we go in depth on what it is, how you get them, how do you best utilize them as an investor. I'll put it down in the description. So definitely check that out. Thanks for watching those 4 tips on finding profitable rental properties and 4 things that you can use in everyday real estate investing life to be more successful. If you have questions, put them down in the comments. I love to help other investors along their investing journey, and I'll see you guys on the next video.